out of all the major marquee matchups, which upset is most likely?
The most probable upset, and this is a pretty big upset. I don't think it's a huge upset, but the odds makers are telling us it's huge. Notre Dame, Ohio State.
And why do you think Notre Dame is likely or has the best chance to pull off the upset?
Because I think physically Notre Dame is not quite as good as Ohio State, but I think they're in that ballpark. I think they're better than Oregon was last year. I think this Notre Dame team is full of athletes that have played in college football playoff games, Fiesta Bowl last year. They're not going to be intimidated by playing in Columbus. And I just think that Ohio State, we know that the defense was the issue last year, and they're not going to have any games. They can work on it and watch film and run through two-a-days in the practices and everything. I think 2 days are outlawed these days. So, but anyway, the August camp and do all that, but they're not going to have a game to work through a new defense.
Okay. And then let's say that happens.
Yep.
Do you think there's going to be any chirps that, Ryan Day, he lost to Oregon last year. He lost to Michigan, and now he's got him losing to a brand new head coach.
Yep.
At home when they're expected to win, and possibly a national championship contender. Any chirping, Ryan Day gets fired.
Oh, fired.
Any chirping
there's going to be chirping from people. When they lost to Oregon last year, yeah, people were going nuts about how bad they were. And they were on defense. And then they lost to Michigan. Oh, sure. He's replacing a coach that was 7-0 against Michigan, and whatever the figure was, like 9-2 in playoff games and New Year's Six games. He's replacing a guy that had a couple minor hiccups, but basically dominated even elite competition. I'm posting a video a little bit later. I don't want to give away all the numbers, but it's in this little series. Is this going to be the year? And you just filled in the blank. And to compare those two schools, Michigan and Ohio State, against elite competition is it's unbelievable how different they're on both ends of the spectrum. So anyway, Ryan Day's replacing a coach who actually replaced another coach who they were in the top 5. They lived in the top 5 the last, what did I count? Anyway, I don't want to give up all my numbers here, but the number of top 5 finishes in the last 20 years for this program is astounding. So yeah, if he loses, and Michigan means everything to this fan base. So if he loses that game at home again, oh my goodness. Yeah.
And let me press you a little bit. What percentage do you think it would be he gets fired if that was to happen?
And they're 10-2?
Yes.
1%. He's not going to get fired.
Okay.
I think that sets him up for a super hot seat the next season. But even Ohio State's not firing a 10-2 coach. If they go 10-2 and win their bowl game, they're still going to finish in the top 10 in the country. They're not going to fire him. I don't think. John Cooper,
you don't know what to expect.
John Cooper got fired after 8-3, so
it would create a lot of off-season hype and a lot of talking points.
Oh my goodness, yeah,
it would be one of the biggest jobs possibly in the country that opens up.
You're getting Ohio State fans nervous.
Hey, listen, man, it's the off-season. You gotta humble people. You gotta humble these fan bases. I think they're going to the national championship game. I mean, they're probably going to beat Notre Dame 35-14, something like that. But